Good evening, gentlemen.
Hello, hello.
Hello.
Howdy.
How are we doing?
We're back for another week.
Back for another week. Almost missed it, but we're here. Clutch
Yep, as always.
for episode 3. Episode 3. We've done 3. Well, technically 4 of these.
Unofficially 4.
Unofficially 4.
We didn't talk about that first one.
No, we don't talk about the first one. So yeah, this is episode 3 of the GameBeast Podcast. 3, sometimes more, but not yet. Friends get together every week to talk about the latest in gaming news. So let's start off as we always do. Parky, Kyle, what are we playing this week? Kyle, let's go to you first. What are you doing? What have you been playing?
I'm still playing the same thing. I'm still playing Days Gone, if I'm totally honest.
Oh,
yeah.
Stuck in that then?
Yeah, definitely get my head down on it. It's a good game actually. Never played it when it came out. Got it as part of the PS collection. I think it was. Yeah.
The Plus collection.
Yeah. So I didn't know, give it a go, and yeah, I'm probably about halfway in, maybe. It's getting good.
Can we just appreciate how good a deal the PS Plus collection is? Because you get some really good games in that. God of War is just one of them that makes it worthwhile. Persona 5, not Royale, but you get the original Persona 5. Excellent game. Ratchet and Clank, the movie one. Like you say, Days Gone, which I have downloaded on the PS4, but I still haven't played it. But you're tempting me.
You
Obviously,
would like it, yeah.
I feel as though I would. I just need time.
Yeah.
I just need more time.
Well,
I might quit
playing Sifu.
I have stopped playing Sifu, but we'll get onto that. So yeah, Days Gone. You enjoying? You anywhere near the end, or is it just massive?
No, it's kind of open worldy sort of. I think I'm about halfway, maybe, roughly.
Fair enough. What about you, Parky? What you doing?
I've actually just started playing Tiny Tina's Wonderlands.
Have you?
Yeah, and what a phenomenal game that is.
Is this the DLC that was split off, or is this the new one?
The Dragon Keep one, yeah. I haven't got the full game yet, but it needs to be downloaded.
Okay. Is the new one out now?
Yeah, I believe so.
Is it?
It's in the store. Yeah.
Oh shit! I completely missed that. I was quite looking forward to that as well, and it kind of just fell off my radar. Tiny Tina's Wonderlands.
Yeah, it's one of the PS Plus games of this month, I think.
It is indeed. Yeah.
That was the Dragon Keep edition.
That was the tear-off one. Yeah.
That was the one where it was ripped out of Borderlands 2. Thanks. It was ripped out of Borderlands 2 and just put up as a standalone. That's what we got for free.
And obviously, I'm now re-downloading CYBERPUNK.
Of course. Yeah.
So that'll be my next game for a few weeks, I think.
So it's 25th of March here for the new Tiny Tina's.
Yeah, mine was already in the store, so I don't know.
Well, maybe it's to pre-order then. But anyway, well, let's not get bogged down on Tiny Tina. That's creepy. What am I playing? I was playing Sifu. I completely dropped Dragon Quest. For Sifu. And I finally got the platinum trophy for Sifu yesterday.
Congrats.
So thanks.
Woo-woo.
I'm so happy. It was so hard. I cannot believe how hard it was. But I went full on strategy with this, and I figured out that. So I was trying to beat the second boss, Deathless, so I can try and get to the last boss at age 20. But then I applied some maths and figured out that it doesn't actually matter if you go into the last boss at age 20 or 21. You still get effectively 2 deaths to beat him because of the way that the death counter stacks up.
Yeah.
So I just thought, fuck it. If I die against Sean, I die against Sean, and lo and behold, I died against Sean. So I beat boss 3 and boss 4 completely deathless. Went into the last one, and then I beat the last boss at age 23, I think it was. Very, very happy. And I probably, in fact, I was going to say I'm not going to play it again, but I am, because what I plan to do is I want to do like a no restrictions speed run of the game to see how quickly I can do it, and I might stream that. I don't know yet, because I feel as though
speed running.
I know, but I feel as though it would be really fun to do, and I feel like I'll definitely be terrible, and I definitely don't have optimized routes. I definitely don't have optimized combos, but I just want to see how quickly I can do it from the start screen of the squats, which is level 1, up until the final blow landed on the last boss. See how long that takes me. Not necessarily deathless, shortcuts allowed, all that. I'm not starting a new game. I just want to do that from start to finish, see how long it takes. I might stream it, but we'll see. I think the next question is fairly obvious for all of us, but what are we looking forward to? Tomorrow. Anyone going to the shop tomorrow and buying Horizon Forbidden West?
No.
Anyone ordering it? Downloading it? Whatever?
It's probably going to be one of those that I end up waiting for once I've finished Days Gone, maybe.
Oh, yeah. You're going to stick to Days Gone before you move over, are you?
Yeah, because I'm really into Days Gone, and knowing me, I'll just drop it and then never go back to it.
That's fair enough. What about you, Parky?
Yeah, mine's going to be waiting to download, but probably won't play it until, get some patches and that out on it. Don't want to risk it.
Don't want to risk it. Oh, I'm well invested. I got the Daft Work tomorrow. I'm going to buy it physical because I like my physical games. I'm going to game in the morning, bang on 9 o'clock, and get it home, and I'm going to play it all day and all night. I don't care if it's buggy, and I'm just going to do it. I know there's a bit of a pop-in issue. I've seen that on SkillUp's review. There's a pop-in issue, and they covered it on Digital Foundry as well. There's when you approach settlements and things like that, there's a bit of like it catches up, and then all of a sudden this massive settlement just appears out of nowhere in front of you. So that's the worst of it. I don't care because it looks amazing. The game looks stunning, and I know I'm going to enjoy it, so I'm just going to play it, and I'm definitely going to try and get the platinum for it because, well, you know me, I only really go for platinums on games I enjoy, and I'm very confident I'm going to enjoy this. So speaking of something else I'm enjoying, and now in hindsight I regret starting this today. Obviously we had the next gen or version 1.5 patch for Cyberpunk 2077. That was available 2 days ago now. Downloaded it on the day, but I wanted to finish off Sifu.
Yeah.
Getting the platinum. Did I mention I had the platinum on Sifu?
Yeah, I mean, apparently this PS5 upgrade actually makes it playable. You can now play Cyberpunk in its entirety.
It does. I tried to play this. Can you believe this game came out in 2020? Well, Cyberpunk was released in 2020, and it is only now, in my opinion, in a playable state. Because I tried to play it on the PS4.
Yeah. And
I spent roughly 6 hours with the game, and that was it for me. I was done. I was ready to just wait. And that's exactly what I did. I installed it, stuck it on the shelf, and didn't get it back out until 2 days ago when I downloaded the patch.
Yeah, and it reminds me of back in the day when everybody used to have Skyrim for a console. It'd be alright because the loading time would be, say, I don't know, 10 seconds sort of thing. Yeah. But for the Xbox 360 especially, I remember it was like a good 2 minute for a loading screen. Cyberpunk was kind of that, where there was a lot going on and it just couldn't handle it.
Yeah, I mean, it bugged me. It was like one of the first missions. I was like, I'll do cover to cover, shoot behind. Oh, I've glitched inside this cabinet. Oh, I'm not stuck inside this cabinet.
Yeah. I was in. It's one of the very first missions where you go into. Oh God! You go into the gang's factory, the food factory thing.
Yep.
And I walked in there, and you're doing the deal with the robot thing, and then all of a sudden, during mid-conversation, just loads of police spawned in and just shot the shit out of everyone. And I died during, the cinematic conversation. So it just bugged out, and then when the conversation had finished, it went to like the reload screen because I was dead. So I reloaded the quick save, not the quick save, the autosave, and it just so happened that the autosave was at the point of where the police spawned in. So I had to reload my manual save, which was like, I don't know, it was not a massive loss of progress, but the fact was, it shouldn't have happened. Why were police teleporting in mid-conversation during a mission? It was nuts. But I'm very happy to say I've been playing it all day today. I started at like 9 in the morning this morning, and I only came off about 8 o'clock this evening.
Sounds like
it
a
is.
progressive day.
It's very playable. It's very good. It looks stunning. It looks like, because I think the only version that really worked before was the PC version, and now it looks and plays like you're playing it on a decent PC. I'm not going to say high-powered PC, because we know that high-powered PCs are more powerful than consoles. Always will be. That's just a fact.
Yeah.
But this runs the game on the PS5 so well, and normally I go for 60 frames a second because I like the smooth experience.
Yeah.
However, I've broken that rule with Cyberpunk simply because the gunplay isn't the best on Cyberpunk anyway, so I feel like playing at 30 frames isn't that much of a sacrifice.
I'd probably blame the gunplay on your terrible aiming, but
exactly. Thanks. The ray tracing in this game is exceptional, and if you want it at 60 frames per second, you've got to sacrifice that ray tracing. No thanks. This game is stunning with ray tracing.
I'm not
and
a big
in 4K
ray tracing
as well.
fan. Like, just, a couple of shadows, fine, but I don't need full-on reflections of water and like mirrored textures and stuff.
I am kind of in the same camp. I'd rather have like a stable frame rate, 6 frames a second, smooth gameplay over fancy shadows and reflections. But when you consider that this game is set in a city, a massive city, and at night time there's reflections and shadows, the two things I just said I don't care about, but they're everywhere, all the time, everywhere, and even driving in a car, it looks crisp. It looks so good, and I guarantee you, even you, Kyle, will flick between performance and ray tracing, and you won't be able to sacrifice that visual look that you get from ray tracing. You won't, because it's like it goes from photographic realness to like a pastel painting. That's how stark the difference is.
Yeah, it makes it actually worthwhile.
The problem I've got now, obviously, is that I've started Cyberpunk and now Horizon's out tomorrow, so I'm going to drop Cyberpunk like a lead balloon.
Yeah, of course.
But what can you do?
Well, as a note on Horizon, just a little something.
Yes.
Because this game was announced, so long ago, it is in fact, it works out cheaper if you buy it for the PS4. Because they're currently offering for this game, the free PS5 upgrade.
The free upgrade, yeah. The only issue with that is I want the disc. I know I can get the free upgrade of the disc, I know, but I want the PS5 case because I am psycho.
Yeah, of course. Well, it's like, if you want to save a bit of money, about £10 or so maybe $10, maybe €10.
$10,
It's probably
£10.
all the same kind of equivalent.
10 insert currency here.
Yeah, 10 some other than yen and rupees, then it might be a bit more. But, yeah, it's cheaper to do it that way. Obviously, things like I think Gran Turismo and God of War, you'll have to pay like a £10 upgrade fee, something like that.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, Sony's upgrade tax, which is I know we're all fans of Sony, but that is bullshit.
It is. It is very not good. But on the other hand, there's also some controversy around the Steelbook.
Is that? Am I right in saying that the Steelbook edition? Because I saw this just fleetingly. Does it not include the disc?
It does not include the disc. You are correct.
What?
Because
Do you know this, Parky?
the reasoning is
Um,
apparently because they don't want to alienate people that bought, obviously, the PS4 digital edition. But then my logic is, why would you buy
Why would you have a
Steelbook if
case?
you had the digital edition?
I mean, yeah, I'm a sucker for a steelbook, but
I love a steelbook.
normally they come with the game, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
And it's
Like
not
I've
even
got
just...
probably about 12 games that are all steelbook, and they just look better. They're beautiful things with the artwork and that, but I couldn't justify buying just the book without the game.
I mean, there have been
Absolutely.
people have received them early, so there have been leaked pictures of it. Well, I suppose leaked, but whatever. Picture, and the steelbook looks really nice. It's just it's missing a disc, and it just looks a bit.
Imagine.
Why?
Imagine not paying attention to the description, opening that, getting your steelbook, and be like, "Yes, gonna play the game now." Oh, wait, what?
Yeah, exactly. Oh no.
I've got to fork out extra money now to buy the game.
That's just horrendous. I'm sure another game did this a while back, and I cannot remember what it was.
And then there's
Was it a Capcom game?
Yeah, it
Evil,
might have
was it?
been. And then there's me just thinking, well, why didn't they just offer two versions? One that had the disc inside, and
Pay a
one
little
that
bit more.
didn't with a digital code.
Yeah, that's what Street Fighter did. You got two cases basically. Same with Kingdom Hearts as well, wasn't it? You got two cases. So I got a steelbook and a normal.
I think my favourite steel case is probably Bloodborne, to be fair. That is an excellent steel case. It's so simple, but oof.
I can understand
really nice.
them not including, a code and the disc, because then you could just flog your code off to someone and you'd have copies of the game.
Yeah, I don't have an issue with that. But come on. Or you could have the disc and the code, but if you put the disc in, it just requires you to enter the code, and then it nullifies the code, and I don't know.
Yeah, that's actually a very good idea.
Yeah. I'm so smart. Oh my god. Yeah. That's wild. That's taken me aback. I need to recompose myself.
So yeah, just that quick tidbit of information there.
That consumer knowledge information, and then we'll move swiftly back onto this chart that I wanted to talk about Cyberpunk. And it seems as though, despite the whole teraflop argument and the meh Microsoft better and meh Sony better, it does seem as though the PS5 version is the definitive version for this Cyberpunk next gen patch. Because I don't know if you two have got this chart up, but the only console with all the ticks in the boxes is PS5.
PS5, yeah. That's only because the DualSense controller, right?
Shut up, you. Yeah, that's true. It is true, but it is a feature, and it's a very good feature. The adaptive triggers in this game are really good, to be fair. I won't harp on about that, though.
I'm quite keen to know these new weapons that they're saying that we have.
I've only got one so far, and the way it works is, and I don't know if this is in the original game, because obviously I didn't play enough, but you get a pistol called... I've already forgotten, Unity or something. Some one-word striking name that's supposed to be really profound. And it's pretty crap. But the jig with it is that you can just upgrade it. I don't know if you can upgrade other weapons in the game. Like I say, didn't play enough. But these iconic classed weapons, they're called. So you can get... It's a common gun, but it's iconic status. Yeah. So because it's iconic, you can upgrade it to rare, and then you can upgrade it to epic, and then you can upgrade it to legendary, and then obviously with upgrading it gets stronger. So you get a gun, and you get 2 jackets. And they're all iconic, and they all start off better than the gear you'd normally start off the game with, so it gives you a little bit of a boost. And then you can upgrade them as you go, so you can keep them all the way through if you want. That I don't know about the other new weapons though. I haven't encountered any of them yet. They might be good, they might be terrible. The additional apartments look pretty cool. You can get a Japanese style one, a corporate style one, and another one that I've forgotten what it is.
I think that was all Like,
What is it
because
they
you get the
do?
free choices of groups, right?
Yeah, of course, yeah. So you probably get your regular apartment and then those other two. They look pretty cool. I'd look at a couple of screenshots of those. It's nice. It's only cosmetic. It's nothing major. Hairdressing mirror, kind of handy actually, because I started the game, started a new game, made a character. I was like, picked a terrible hair choice, so I changed it. Handy. I cannot believe that wasn't in the game before. Rebalance of the gameplay, economy, and loot essentially just means the game is less janky. The economy, you earn more money than you did before, and things cost less. And the loot system, the floor is not showered with loot anymore. It's less loot, but more useful. So instead of dropping like 10 shitty guns and an okay one, it'll just drop a good gun.
Which is ideal. Cause...
Ideal, yeah.
That was always the trouble, wasn't it? That and the price of the cars, man. The cars are insane.
Yeah, I think they've reduced the price of the cars as well. Effectively, they've reduced the price of everything and increased your money gain. Ray tracing, already spoke about that. Excellent, very, very high quality ray tracing. Enough so that it made me care about it. Various visual quality improvements. That's just the fidelity, I think it was. The headphone audio, I haven't played with headphones, but I hear good things. The improved crowd reactions. There is a crowd now. There was no crowd on the PS4. It wasn't powerful enough to render a crowd. There's actually people in the street
Oh
on
my
the
god,
PS5
people.
Yeah.
People! My God!
I played it because there was no people.
Yeah, well, there's loads of
Might have
people
been
now,
on.
and if you have a stray bullet, it's gonna hit them, and then the police are gonna go after you. Trust me.
Yeah. It's like one of those updates of when you used to play the old, you know, when you used to play Spider-Man for the PS2 and stuff, or even an old GTA, and you used to walk past shop windows, and it was obviously just a 2D textured kind of mess.
Yeah.
But now on the PS5, it's just, I mean, I'm referring to Spider-Man here. There's actually a bit of depth to some of the shop windows and stuff. Just
Yeah,
having that in place, having actual pedestrians walk around, the fact you can.
it really helps with the immersion, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, completely agree. It is very, very good. The car controls are supposed to have been improved. They are improved. It doesn't feel as though you're driving on an ice rink anymore. But not perfect. And if you turn too quickly, you will start to fishtail, and then you'll just lose control. In fact, I was doing a side mission, and it's some dude that's had an implant in his penis, and it hurts, and he's like, "Oh my God, get me to the doctor." And you're like, "Right, I'll get you to a doctor." Then the whole car journey, he's like, "Ah, it really hurts, it really hurts." And I'm like, "Yeah, well, it's your penis. What do you think? Why did you put something in there?" And if you don't get there quick enough, and I didn't because I kept losing control of the car, he runs out of the car. He says, "I can't take this anymore." And he runs to the other side of the road, and then his legs explode, and he's dead.
His legs.
I was like, what?
Strange.
Yeah. So that is another bit of consumer advice. Don't put things in your penis.
Yeah, otherwise your legs will
Your
explode.
legs will explode. And I won't be able to drive you to the doctor quick enough. Clearly.
Especially with these waiting times. Oof.
Right, we'll move on from Cyber. I was going to go over the new gameplay improvements, like the new skill tree and stuff. We don't need to get bogged down in that. Effectively, there's a new skill tree. You'll get all your skill points back if you had a save previously, and then you can redistribute them because it's been rebalanced. Yada yada yada.
Good.
Oh, I did want to ask one question because obviously looking at that chart before we do move on, the Xbox Series S, that seems to be lacking a lot. I mean, you've got what? You're missing the ray tracing.
Yep.
No DualSense features.
No.
You don't get as high fidelity.
I mean,
I think
it's the slim version of the Xbox. Is basically what it is. Yeah.
it is, but it was marketed as a next-gen console, and it doesn't seem to be performing as a next-gen console. I get that it's like a stepping stone, and that's great. But there are people all over Twitter absolutely furious that the specs for the not the specs, the performance for the Series S is 30 frames per second capped, which, as I discussed earlier, isn't a massive problem because the ray tracing is so good. However, they don't even have the option for ray tracing. So the thing I sacrificed isn't available to them. They can't get to 60 frames per second. They can't have ray tracing. And their resolution's capped at 1440p. Why couldn't they have had 1080p resolution and a 60 frames a second? At the very least, just so they can have a smooth experience. It just seems wild that this is, in air quotes, a next-gen console, but it doesn't seem to be performing as one.
Well, I can see your point. I mean, when the whole marketing wars was going on, it was, hey, get a PS5 or get a PS5 digital edition for a little bit cheaper. And the Xbox was, hey, get, the Series X or the Series S. They are the same thing, it's just one of them's like a light version.
Yeah.
But you'd still expect to be able to do both of them. But...
I know the S has significantly less RAM. No. Yes? Yes?
Maybe? I don't know. I didn't look at
the I don't know. I forget now. I forget. It is a lesser machine technically, whereas the PS5 digital is exactly the same. It just doesn't have a disc tray.
Yeah.
So I, in hindsight now, think maybe the S was a mistake, and they could have cut costs in other ways, such as no disc drive. It would have been a little more expensive, but at least people wouldn't be up in arms having bought a Series S and thinking, "Hang on, wait a minute, where's my next?"
Can't do the basic stuff, like
Exactly, yeah.
I mean, the people that bought it were obviously the ones that just cared about playing the games, but didn't necessarily care about having the best graphics. They just wanted like a smooth performance and just 1080p. That'll do.
Yep.
But the fact that it's not offered, one to watch out for.
It is one to watch out for. I find that quite surprising, and I wonder how this is going to look down the line a few years, because it seems as though the S is being capped out already, but I don't know. I'm not a dev. But anyway, let's move on. So we've had news of Bioshock Movie, which I don't think anyone's surprised about, but it's been a long time coming, because I remember rumours of this swirling around years ago. 3-4 years ago, something like that. Who's blowing down the mic? Is that you, Kyle?
I might have been. Sorry, my bad.
Christ, I just went blowing my hair.
Sorry, everyone.
That snake's gone from struggling.
Good God. So yeah, IGN have a news article up, dated the 15th of February. Netflix announces the long-awaited Bioshock movie. So it seems as though Netflix, in partnership with Take-Two and 2K, will be bringing Bioshock to the big screen. It's going to be a live-action movie, reportedly. However, there isn't any writer or filmmaker attached to the project yet, so I'm not, very familiar with the inner workings of how you put together a film, but I'd imagine those are pretty key roles. Is this going anywhere yet? Is this just... Are we going to see this anytime soon? I don't think we are. I reckon another 2 years, maybe longer. And is it going to be any good?
I mean...
Yeah, I'm not holding my breath for it.
Yeah. Put it this way, it's going to be a flop. Any live action game stuff doesn't do well. It should, but it doesn't.
But, and I will just try and look at it from the other end, because you're both clearly critical of this, and I share the same criticisms, but I just want to try and get the different perspective. I think like a dark, slow-paced, gritty film, underwater, as long as it's after the fall of Rapture, actually at the time of the game, and it's not like some bullshit prequel. I don't care what happened when the city was okay. I want a film about everything going to hell. And I think it would be good. I think it could be good.
I mean,
If
it's definitely got potential. It's not
if
like
it's like a soft horror, if that makes sense. Like not a jump
Soft
scare horror, more like a tense action horror. I think would be awesome. They just need to execute it, and I think they're going to fall. They're in danger of falling into the trap of it just being another Netflix film.
Yeah, but Netflix films do okay. I mean, the difference between a Netflix film and like a big, cinema screen, theater screen production is that Netflix things don't really need to have an end. They can just sort of play and be very open-ended, and that's it. Whereas if you go, you pay money, you go to a cinema, you go to a theater, and you watch it, you kind of expect to at least have an ending.
Yeah,
Especially if you're
tying up
going
the
down
story,
that,
or
yeah, if you're going down that sort of dark, thrillery horror type thing, you expect there to be something. I remember I saw a film like a few years ago, and it was one of those where the director deliberately made it open-ended, and it was a good film. But you got to the end, and you were just like, well, what was the point of that? 2 hours of my life wasted for no answers, and the story was built up for literally nothing.
I don't mind an open-ended ending as long as it. Well, no, in very specific circumstances. So, like Shutter Island, for instance, that was an open-ended ending, but it was one of those endings where you get to interpret what you think the ending meant. I quite like that.
yeah,
I
I
would
quite
like, I would like an ending to this film.
Can Bioshock have an ending though? You already make a film and give it an ending if you want to
Arguably,
continue the video game franchise.
yeah, it kind of ends its chapters, I guess. So obviously they're all an interconnected world. I say obviously, that's a huge spoiler, so I won't elaborate.
Wee woo, spoiler alert. Wee woo.
Other than the fact that all of the Bioshocks are definitely connected, and if you can't figure out why, go and play all of them. I think they could do the same with the film, where it is 3 separate stories. Arguably, 1 and 2 are less separate than 1 and 2 and Infinite, for instance. They all definitely need an ending, because all of the games had an ending. It just so happened to be that they were connected in that very specific way that I won't say. But what I mean by like the pitfall of the Netflix movie is I don't want it to be an hour and 20 minutes. I want it to be 2 hours.
yeah,
Like,
hitting Lord of the
I want it to be
Rings sort of
a
like
proper film. Yeah,
real
because
development in it and everything, like
yeah,
character development stuff.
exactly. I don't know. So we're not too hot on the Bioshock movie. Clearly, I hope it's good. I want it to be good. Probably won't be good. Let's move on. Chrono Cross Remaster. Did either of you play Chrono Trigger at all?
I played Chrono Trigger for a bit, but
Mhm.
it wasn't that long. Like an hour, 2 hours maybe. The
Again,
start.
I'm literally the same boat. I picked it up. I played for maybe an hour or so and was like, oh, okay.
So you've both played it more than me, because I've never played anything in the Chrono series. However, I have watched I have watched Chrono Trigger from start to finish on YouTube many years ago when I quite enjoyed just watching Let's Plays in the background. So I'm quite looking forward to Chrono Cross Remaster because it gives me an excuse to play it on a system that's current that I have.
Yep.
And not only that, it's the Radical Dreamers edition, and Radical Dreamers is a very lesser known title in the sense that it was never released outside Japan. And it was a text-based adventure. And I think it will be included in the Chrono Cross Remaster as a text-based adventure, but translated into English, hopefully.
Hopefully. Yeah.
So Chrono Cross Remaster is going to be coming to the Switch, PS4, Xbox One, and Steam. Interestingly, there's going to be no next gen. I keep saying next gen. There's going to be no current gen versions. It's just going to be a port remaster type affair, which I think's fine. I like the style of old games. I especially like the style of old JRPGs. I think they look really good, and if they're slightly touched up, even better. But having said that, there's been some criticism of the graphics, and I don't know if you've seen any of this, but I've taken a couple of screenshots for that, which I did put in our chat.
I did see.
So we've got good, helpful.
Yeah.
So John Linneman from Digital Foundry. Obviously, Digital Foundry is all about technical aspects of games, how they run, how well they run, fidelity. Oh, good bit of reverb there.
Feedback loop.
You pulled your mic out, Bertie?
I don't think so.
Oh,
Okay.
I can't hear that. But anyway, oh, it's absolutely not.
It's okay. I've muted Parky. Continue.
Okay. So John Linneman from Digital Foundry says, quote, "Wow, that Chrono Cross re-release looks horrific. What are they doing there?" And then a separate tweet from Duggan, Tiki Pod Limited, never heard of them, don't know who they are, but it was another criticism. Chrono Cross Remaster, background looks like they have been AI upscaled, which isn't so bad as a thumbnail, but zoom in, and bits like ropes and railings with alpha suffer most. Probably due with some scan lines applied to mask it. So the second bit of criticism, obviously, not as bad as John Linneman's.
Yeah.
But does it matter? I quite like the look of it. I think it looks pretty good. I don't think there's anything wrong with AI upscaling as long as it's done well. Obviously, AI upscaling was used for the Grand Theft Auto Trilogy remaster, and that's a terrible use of it.
Yeah.
I quite like the look of this. Yeah. So, have we, as gamers, not us specifically, but as an audience, have we become too reliant on graphics? Do we find it difficult to appreciate a game unless it is stunningly beautiful? Or do graphics improve the enjoyment of a game? If the graphics are bad, do they hinder the enjoyment of the game? What do we think? What do you reckon? Can we hear Parky now? Is he allowed to speak?
I hope so. Sorry about that, guys.
It's okay. It's okay. Well, we'll go to you, Parky, since we've just condemned you for a few moments. Do you think, one, does this game look bad? And do you agree with the criticism? And two, do you think graphics are important?
I don't think it looks bad. I'm actually looking forward to it. I'll happily play it. It's just, yeah, I don't think it. People are now just thinking, oh, the graphics have to be movie quality, otherwise it's not worth playing. It's like, we grew up in the age where everything was a box.
I had the NTSC version of Final Fantasy IX because I had a chipped PlayStation. Please don't come and arrest me.
Oh no.
So I played the entirety of Final Fantasy IX in black and white.
Wow.
Oh yeah. But anyway, continue with your point.
Yeah, no, man. I think we don't need graphics, and a lot of people enjoy the graphics to be a bit worse off. But obviously, a lot of the newer gamers and stuff are used to the real crisp quality. So maybe they.
Did you think it's a generation thing more than anything?
Yeah, maybe it is.
Oh, okay, interesting. What about you, Kyle? What do you reckon?
I think going back to the topic before, I think it kind of depends on marketing and the game type. But there's nothing wrong with AI upscaling as long as you market it as, say, just not even a remaster, but just like an enhanced edition.
Yeah.
If you say, oh, it's an enhanced edition, it's fine. If you say, obviously, there's a difference between reboot and remaster.
Yeah.
If you say, oh, we're remastering this game, and all you're doing is basically porting it, and it looks atrocious, then just be honest. Just say.
Be honest.
Just say.
What?
It's a graphical update.
Yeah.
Or call it an enhanced edition, and that's it.
I disagree with the remaster label for this.
Yeah.
Only because I think you've hit the nail on the head in the sense that it's
so poor. It's actually a remake.
Yeah. Well, not even that. It's a port that has been upscaled by the look of it. I suppose the remaster element comes in the sense that I think they've redone the character portraits, and I don't know what else, because Oh, I did watch the video, but I've completely forgotten everything they said. I was quite tired.
Yeah, I mean, again, it's marketing though, isn't it? It's like
Yeah.
if it's a AAA game, you expect it when they say, "Oh, hey, we're remastering it," to be really
Yeah.
good. If it's some sort of old, maybe obscure PS2 game or Xbox game or something like that, you don't expect as much.
No, that's true. That's true. I think this is going to be a shocker to you, really enjoy JRPGs.
Oh no, do you?
No,
No idea.
But the only series that I expect any form of cinematic graphics from is Final Fantasy. Because Final Fantasy's always been that RPG, that JRPG at the forefront of graphical technology.
Yeah.
The Final Fantasy VII was the first JRPG, I think, to my knowledge, with 3D sprites.
Yeah.
And pre-rendered backgrounds. Well, it wasn't the first with pre-rendered backgrounds, but it was like the most detailed pre-rendered backgrounds I'd seen as a child. Whereas then you have Dragon Quest XI, for instance, which is just like playing an anime game, and it's great and it suits it, but
It
it's
does.
not. Yeah, it's the perfect style for that game, for the tone of the game. But it's not cinematically beautiful. It doesn't need, and it never will have ray tracing or anything like that. And if it was in 4K or 1080p, you wouldn't be able to tell the difference.
No.
I wouldn't be able to tell the difference, but I'm an idiot.
Everything would be a bit more shiny.
Yeah, it'd be extra glossy. and, and those exclamation marks above the enemies' heads would really pop. But because of my expectation of Final Fantasy, I would be disappointed if Final Fantasy 16 wasn't absolutely stunning to look at.
Yeah.
But if the next Dragon Quest came out and it looked exactly the same as Dragon Quest 11, I wouldn't even blink. I'd be like, yeah, great, that's good. And I look at this Chrono Cross remaster, having only watched Chrono Trigger be played through and only ever watched Chrono Cross, the original, being played through on YouTube with the poor YouTube compression. And I look at it and I think, looks great. I like it. If it's AI upscaled, it's AI upscaled. It's an old game. They're clearly not throwing money at this to remake it, else they'd have called it a remake. They're bringing a bit of extra content over to the West that's never been released before. I'll take it. It gives me an opportunity to play it.
Yeah, of course.
So I think it is a generational thing when it comes to graphics. I think so many people are caught up in the console war at the moment with, oh, my graphics are better than yours, or my graphics are better than yours. Oh, well, I can do ray tracing, you can't. Oh, well, I can get 60 frames a second. 60 frames a second is better than graphics. Whatever. It shouldn't be. You should enjoy the game for the gameplay, story if it's got one, and what you take away from the game if you want to get that deep.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely agree. But on the other hand, it's only some people, isn't it? I don't think like gamers as a whole have sort of gone,
No.
oh, we hate, it has to be graphically good, because
No.
on the entire PC market, there's so many indie games that are blowing up that are, like little 2D sprite games. I mean, look how
Among Us.
Yeah, Among Us was massively popular. Look how well Animal Crossing does every
Yeah,
year. It's
true.
not exactly.
Any Nintendo game. Nintendo is the standout company that is simply like, well, we'll just do what we want to do. You can all go and acquire studios and publishers. You do what you do, and we'll just keep on making Nintendo games, and we'll be fine. And I think they're right. They're absolutely right. And it would be wrong for Nintendo to go on an acquisition spree.
Exactly. I mean, even Sifu wasn't. Let's put it this way. It wasn't, a graphically masterful game. It was good for the animation style that it went for.
Yeah, the style was excellent, but you are absolutely right. It's not cinematic quality.
But
it still looks good.
Yeah, exactly.
No, it doesn't,
So,
because the whole point in Sifu is its gameplay, and its gameplay is perfect.
So it is one of those. If you're making, like, I was even thinking this yesterday. I was playing Days Gone, and I thought it's a really beautiful looking game. Everything looks nice, all the textures. But when I'm like driving along the roads, going through all this grass, grass and bushes, and driving past trees, I'm not going to stop to look at how detailed the tree is. If it looks like a tree and it's semi-decent, that's all I need. You know, I don't need to know that it's a 4K in-depth tree with magical properties and everything. It's a
And
tree.
you're not a true gamer.
Yeah, like I get that when it stops, you know, if you're going past something, an object at speed, and when you stop, it probably renders it a bit more high quality when you stop. But like,
Yeah.
just I think textures, especially when they start reusing the same rock and the same cliff and the same tree, I don't think they need to be that good. In all
No.
honesty.
No, and I think if we look at particularly Horizon, Forbidden West, the depth of detail on that is insane, and I cannot believe they've got that running on the PS4. Even to the point where I've seen screenshots of zoomed in leaves on the forest floor, and each individual leaf has all the tiny little details. You can see the little veins or whatever they are running through the leaves.
Yeah.
The tiny little holes in the leaves,
Stems,
and I'm
I believe
thinking,
they're called.
thanks. And I'm thinking, if normally I wouldn't stop and I wouldn't look, and I'd just get the atmosphere from the entire game as a whole, and I'd be like, this looks great. And now I've seen that screenshot, I can guarantee I'm going to walk into a forest, pause, go to photo mode, and zoom in just to check it out for myself. And I still won't care. But I'll be like, that's impressive.
Yeah, photo mode is one of those though where it pauses the entire game and it'll just specifically render a certain point.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, for instance, like Gran Turismo, ray tracing's only available in photo mode on Gran Turismo 7. But I digress. Shall we move on to... No, let's not move on to the NVIDIA leak yet, because I want to ask you, going back to Chrono Trigger, and I want to start with Parky, because do you... Obviously, you are also a massive fan of Final Fantasy VII Remake. Do you think we're going to get a Chrono Trigger remake? Because we've obviously had Chrono Cross Remaster announced, and it's coming. But what about Chrono Trigger? Chrono Trigger was the first game in the series. Surely they're not going to remaster the sequel.
See, I don't think they'll do it. Because I think
Why?
they've got so many other things coming out going to that list. Like, there's a lot of things that they're going to be doing. They might bring out a remake, but then Chrono Trigger was like the little brother of, you know, the little unwanted cousin or something like that. Of like the old some of the old games. Not hitting on it, man. It was a great game for the hour and two I played it. And if I could, I'd probably go back and play it again. But
I think I want a remake of it because I want to experience the story of Chrono Trigger. Because
on a
Chrono
decent
Trigger,
console, like
yeah, Chrono Trigger is held in high regard, and it is universally praised as being better than its sequel. Chrono Cross is the ugly duckling of that series. But why is that the one getting the remaster? Where's Chrono Trigger? It doesn't make sense to me. I'm hoping for a
maybe it's just easier because it was more updated being a
maybe yeah that's not a bad point at all, and I hadn't considered that. But I can still hope. What about you, Carl? What do you reckon? Are we going to see anything from Chrono Trigger, or do we think that this is just a random remaster for the sake of remastering something?
It'll be an interest generation thing. It'll be, hey, let's bring back some old IPs. Let's kind of dabble in certain things, see how well they do, and then we'll go from there.
Okay.
Especially considering the amount of studios that, you know, the company has under their belt now. Both companies, like Sony, Microsoft, they both have enough companies they could just sort of give it to one of the not subpar ones, but you know what I mean. They're not non-mainstream.
Yeah, fair enough. I mean, this is just another, because I think Square Enix have kind of like, they just keep pumping out older titles. So they remastered 7, which was effectively the PC port. They remastered 8, which was a better remaster than 7. They haven't remastered 9 yet, I don't think.
They did bring it out on the store, didn't they? So you could just buy it as a thing. It had like tiny graphical improvements and stuff.
Yeah, but it didn't have trophies or anything. Whereas
Yeah,
7...
it did.
Oh, did it? Oh, okay, fair
Yeah.
enough.
Yeah.
Okay, I need
One
to
of
buy
them
that.
being do the jump rope constantly, which
Oh,
was
of course, yeah, which I will never
Yeah.
ever get in my life. 10 and 10-2 remastered, and obviously Dragon Quest, Christ, Chrono Trigger is Square Enix title. I think Chrono Trigger actually came out when it was SquareSoft.
Just Square.
Yeah.
So maybe you're right. Maybe this is just they've cherry picked an IP and they thought, right, we'll remaster that now. Because in fairness, 7 is the 7th Final Fantasy in the series, and that got remastered first and remade first. And the reason I say remade first is we'll come on to that in the NVIDIA leak next. Okay, right, we'll move on. We'll move on to the NVIDIA thing because this is old news. This NVIDIA leak happened, I want to say, towards the end of last year or the middle of last year. Might even be older than that.
But it's relevant.
It's old news, but it's relevant because this list keeps coming back. Because effectively, what it is for people who don't know is there was an NVIDIA GeForce document that was leaked, and it had just a long list of games that were either potentially coming to PC or coming to the NVIDIA GeForce Now service, which is effectively Stadia but better.
Yeah.
Remember Stadia?
Yeah, that one.
And effectively, what's happened is NVIDIA came out and says, no, these are all placeholder names. None of these are real. And then one by one, games on this list have been announced and some released. So, have you both taken a look at this list? Have you familiarised yourself with it?
I have indeed.
Excellent. Is there anything on there that you are particularly looking forward to? I mean, for instance, we had Uncharted Legacy of Thieves edition. That was proven to be true. Avowed was leaked. That's that game that's an Xbox exclusive now. I think that was under Bethesda, is it? Chrono Cross Remaster. Obviously, that's the most recent one to be announced. That's the most recent one to be ticked off the list. Final Fantasy VII Remake coming to PC. That was on the NVIDIA leak. And then, lo and behold, we saw Final Fantasy VII Remake come to PC, albeit in a terrible, terrible state.
New Super Mario Bros, which was
New Super
of course,
Mario
only
Bros.
a Wii game.
Kingdom Hearts 4, Kyle.
Yeah.
Not announced yet, but it's on the list.
Yeah. I mean, it confirmed itself in the third game. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, that's true. So what I want to do, instead of going through the whole list, I want to go through just the specific publisher/developers. So Square Enix, Capcom, Take-Two, EA, and any others that might interest us, because I think these are probably the ones most relevant to us. We'll forget the Sony exclusives. We'll forget the Microsoft exclusives. So we'll start with Square Enix. Chrono Cross we've already spoken about. Final Fantasy Tactics Remaster. I've never played Tactics. I hear it's very, very good.
Yeah, it was alright.
The only interaction I've had with it was like the grid-based game.
Oh yeah, no, I didn't play that one, but I did play one of the maybe a Crystal Chronicle thing that was kind of the same thing, but for the DS.
I think it was in the same vein, yeah. The only interaction I've had with Final Fantasy Tactics characters is on Final Fantasy Opera Omnia on my phone, which is, again, I will say it and I'll say it to the end of time, the best gacha game ever made. Final Fantasy VII Remake, spoke about that. Final Fantasy IX Remake. Yes. Yes. Parky, are you excited? Kyle?
Yes.
Probably not,
Definitely.
but I'm going to make you excited about this.
If they do it the same way they've done 7, it's going to be phenomenal.
It will be phenomenal.
Is 9 the one with the weird fairies?
9 is the one with the little black mages, little VV that can't, for some reason, stand up straight.
Yeah, Fat Face Steiner.
Fat Face Steiner.
Yeah.
Beatrix. Zidane the Thief.
Yeah. Guy with the monkey tail. Come on, you got to know some of these.
Yeah, I know some of them from my, Kingdom Hearts interactions.
Yeah. So who from 9 is in Kingdom Hearts that I can remember?
I mean, Sid is in literally every game ever. So
Yeah,
He's in
that's
every
true.
Final Fantasy game, so.
Although Sid in 9 isn't Oglet, so that's a little bug thing.
Yeah.
Not really. Well, he is a main character, I suppose, but he's not a playable character for sure. I
I
can't
don't think a 9 is in Kingdom Hearts.
It's got to be one.
So you've got
Vivi is
Cloud, you've got
Oh,
Leon.
Vivi is in it. Vivi's in 2, isn't he?
Yeah,
at
Kingdom
the
Hearts 2,
at the
right
start
at the
sequence.
Yeah, he is.
Okay, well there you go. There's the token character.
Yeah.
Final Fantasy 9 remake. How do you? Why first? Why Final Fantasy 9? Why not Final Fantasy 8?
Well,
Numerical
I think-
numbering systems not matter. Clearly not.
Clearly not. But I think 9 had more of a train because the junction system I think is what ruined 8.
True, but there's nothing stopping them from just stripping out the junction system in a remake.
And then that was also the one thing that kept it there, wasn't it? It's the one main thing about 8 was the junction system.
Yeah, that's true. But it could be tweaked. I mean, you could just have, say, like an experience bar for each spell instead of stock. So say you instead of having 100 stock of Ultima and then junctioning that to your HP to get 9,999, you could have an experience bar for Ultima and you've just got to draw it 100 times to get to max level. And then your Ultima is then max level, and you can just cast it without reducing your HP. Kyle has no idea what I'm on about. But I promise you, this was a mechanic in the game. What you essentially had to do was slot in spells to your stats. But the only way to get spells was from draw points, which is effectively like, I don't know, a water fountain that gives you magic.
Yeah.
That's a very poor explanation, but anyway, imagine you're filling your spell bottle with water from your magic water fountain.
Okay.
So say you come to a draw point and you draw 5 cures. So you've got a stock of 5 cures, and you attach that to HP, so it increases your HP by whatever the multiplication is that they do for having 5 cures attached to it.
Yeah.
If you then cast Cure, you go down to 4 cures. So then your max HP drops.
Right. Okay.
It was a terrible system.
Yeah, that does seem a bit.
But it was also a really good system. It was a good idea, executed poorly. So if they just had...
But you lower your max health.
Exactly. So, I played Final Fantasy VIII as a child and never cast a spell, ever, because I didn't want to lose them. And then I replayed it as an adult and thought, oh, I'll probably be a bit smart about it. And again, I just played through the whole game, never cast a spell. Because you can't. You get Ultima, which is crazy powerful magic, and you can't use it. Because it's also, coincidentally, the best junction option for health.
Yeah, I played it as a kid and did the one thing that most people do, I'm sure. Just walk straight into the boss.
Yeah, with no,
Yeah, I was
no
like,
abilities.
I don't know where I'm going. Back, forward, keep walking up. Oh, I'm in a boss fight. Oh, all right.
Yeah, I did that. I definitely did that. But yeah, Final Fantasy 9. I want this. I want it. Of all of them that I want to be true, this is the one. I want a Final Fantasy 9 remake.
Wouldn't it be weird if they made it so 7 and 9 somehow met?
No.
And they crossed it?
No.
Bad dreams all around, right?
No. Everyone knows that the execs of Square Enix listen to this podcast. Don't give them any ideas. Final Fantasy 7 and 9 should not meet in that way. Oh god, imagine if all the crazy shit at the end of the 7 remake and they just troll everyone.
They go through the portal, there you go.
Episode 2 is actually
just sitting at the end of it.
Episode 2 is going to be Final Fantasy 9. Oh no. Right, you've just ruined.
There you go. See, confirmed. Final Fantasy 9 is now 7. Confirmed.
Yeah. That's our prediction, I guess. We've got Tomb Raider Anniversary. I don't know if do any of us care about Tomb Raider?
I did until they ruined it.
Yeah, the original 3 was good. Never really played it after that.
No. Unannounced title by Square Enix. Can't really say a lot about that. Kingdom Hearts 4. Kyle, I imagine you're very excited about that.
Yep,
I am
very.
too.
Not sure where it's going to go, as it might not be in the Sora storyline anymore. But
Well,
we'll see.
to be
Story's
perfectly
so
honest,
big.
to be perfectly honest, we've got all of the current games, and I still don't know where the story's going. So that's a given. Do you think So you don't think it's going to be based on Sora?
No, I think it'll be a Riku story.
Oh, do you? I was going to say something to do with the Masters or something, but interesting. Okay, right. We'll move on to Capcom before we get bogged down in the lore of Kingdom Hearts. Else we'll be here for hours. Yeah. Resident Evil 4 remake. We spoke about that last week.
Yeah.
So that's just a bit of because I didn't even know this was on the list, so that makes me feel a bit better about my journalistic integrity. Street Fighter 6. Does anyone care? I don't care. I'm not a fighting game player.
No, not really. If they
Dragon's
brought
Dogma.
out a new Tekken, I'd be happier about that.
Well, yeah, that's a good point. Tekken's a pretty good game, but I just can't dedicate the time to learn combos. I learned one 10-hit combo on Tekken 5 and used that to get the platinum trophy, and I didn't use any other combo whatsoever.
I think long gone are the days of just couch fighting games. As a kid,
Yeah,
playing
unless it's
Tekken or
couch
Street Fighter.
co-op. That's the
Because
fun I had in
there's
fighting
better
games.
options now. You fight somebody for like, you fight your best mate for 20 minutes. You think, bored of this now. Do you want to play a different game?
Yeah, it's true.
That's essentially Tekken and Street Fighter in a
Yeah.
nutshell.
What you do is you look at your friend in the eyes and you go, right, you go home right now, turn on your console, and we'll just play COD online.
Yeah.
All right, let's go.
Yeah.
Dragon's Dogma 2. I love Dragon's Dogma 1. I think Dragon's Dogma was awesome, and I really enjoyed the Netflix anime series of Dragon's Dogma, which apparently no one knows exists. Oh, thank God you've watched it. Oh, such a good anime series. Did you enjoy the game? Please say yes.
Not as much as I enjoyed the Netflix series.
What? Did you play the game, Kyle?
No, never played it. Never seen it. Can't comment. Next one.
Right, okay, we'll
Moving
move
on,
on.
he says.
Monster Hunter 6. We obviously saw Monster Hunter World come to PlayStation for the first time, I think, since the PS2.
Something like that, probably.
We haven't seen the latest Monster Hunter Rise on PlayStation consoles. That is exclusive to the Switch, I believe.
Yeah.
But it's also like a light version, but also very, very good version of Monster Hunter. Obviously, because it's restricted to the hardware of the Switch. Monster Hunter 6, do we think that's coming to PlayStation? I think it will.
I hope so.
Probably.
I will also probably buy it.
It's had the interest, so.
Yeah, very true, very true. Move on to Take-Two. These are obviously the license owners of things like Bioshock, and Take-Two own Rockstar. We've had the prediction of the GTA trilogy remaster was true. We wish it wasn't. It's got a tick next to it on this list, but I think that does it a bit too much justice. It does us no injustice even as gamers. The Bioshocks RTX remaster. I'm assuming that's Bioshock with ray tracing. I don't know if I want a Bioshock remaster. I just want a new Bioshock, which is the next one down on the list, Bioshock 2022. Do any of us want the original Bioshock remastered?
If they brought out all three, all remastered. Maybe apart from Infinite, maybe.
Well, they kind of did, didn't they? They kind of did, because you've got the Bioshock collection. I don't know if that was upscaled or anything. I played it, I enjoyed it, because I didn't play Bioshock extensively when it first came out. I recently replayed them all and finished them all back to back, and loved it. I don't think we need ray tracing and everything in those games, because I think they're very stylistic and they look great the way they are.
That is true.
But anyway, Bioshock 2022. Have either of you heard about this? I know a few details about this, but
no, I haven't really heard anything about it.
Okay, are you Parky?
No, I haven't.
Okay. Is that your dog? I was going to say cat then, but I forgot you moved. Bioshock 2022, I think, is set in Antarctica. I think it's tied in with the first 3 games in the same manner that Infinite was. It's going to be, I believe, like a semi-open world experience. It might be... Oof, there's that gale wind again. It might be like a hub-based open world rather than just an enormous sandbox. I'm not sure. What do we think? Do we think Bioshock could work as like a semi-open world type game? Does that take away from the action
Takes
horror
away from
that it was supposed
what
to be?
Bioshock really was, wasn't it?
But I think it could be. I think it could be quite good because it reminds me of things like, is it The Thing that's set in like Antarctica? Is it? I don't remember now. Let me Google The Thing. Are we all like just slightly out of the generational thing to be interested in the film The Thing? Yeah, it is The Thing.
It's the thing. But wasn't also Alien versus Predator in there?
Well, yeah,
That
we'll go with
good.
that. Alien vs Predator. There you go. That's a better reference. I think it'd be quite good. Like if your vision's obscured by blizzards and stuff, and things creep up on you, and there's creepy shit going on. I don't know. I think it'd be quite good. But more importantly, will we play it? If there is a new Bioshock, and those details that I believe to be true are true, would that interest you? Would you play it, or would you think no, that's too far of a
I'd
divergence from the
definitely
original?
play it, but hopefully they don't mess the story up any more than Infinite kind of added to.
Yeah. I mean, jumping in with a fresh pair of eyes from the beginning might be okay.
Okay. EA.
Yep.
Mirror's Edge. We
Mirror's
spoke
Edge.
about this.
Yes.
It's on the list.
Yeah.
It's on the list. You know, I don't know if you two were just predicting something last week or what, but it's there. It's not been announced yet, but it's definitely on the list. Untitled Respawn game. Actually, no. Do you want to say something more about Mirror's Edge because you were pretty passionate about it last time, Carl?
No, just it was already on the PC, so it's like, and it's kind of on the console, so I don't really see what difference it would make being added to a streaming service.
Make the reds even redder.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that's what we need. Redder red.
Untitled Respawn game. Respawn, are these the ones that did Titanfall? I think. Pretty sure they are.
I don't know, but in brackets next to it says 3 Star Wars games.
Yes, because I think they're working on like I'm sure they're working like a Telltale style Star Wars game.
Yeah. And yeah, they did do Titanfall.
They did. Yeah, I thought so. Respawn are obviously made up of old ex Call of Duty developers, which is why everyone was singing the praises about Titanfall when it first came out. But then Titanfall 2 came out, and EA decided to cannibalize that with Battlefield releasing at exactly the same time. So good job, EA. Good job. Well done on managing your IPs there. Titanfall 3, that's also on the list. I assume also from Respawn. I don't think that's going to happen. This is probably the least believable one on the entire list for me because I don't think they give a shit about Titanfall anymore.
Yeah, I think Titanfall 2 kind of burned it out because of the release dates. But
Bandai Namco, Tekken 8. We already kind of spoke about fighting games. Tekken, we like Tekken. Yeah, Tekken and Mortal Kombat are probably the only fighting games I really like.
Yeah, Tekken was good back in the day, but falls into Street Fighter category where, you know, I don't think people play it that much anymore. I could be wrong.
If it does come out, I will be buying it day one.
Fair enough. That's interesting. I didn't think it'd be a day one purchase for you.
Yeah, I love Tekken, man. Grew up on it. Still play it now.
Okay, bloody hell. I've learned so much about you. I've completely lost where Tekken's at. I can't quite count how many times Kazuya has thrown his son/dad into a volcano, and how many times they've broken each other's back. And it's like EastEnders. They die for a bit, and then they come back and they're like, "No, I'm not dead."
Yeah, but that's the joy of Tekken, man. There's so many endings to it, but there's only really one true ending.
What's that?
So, well,
Heihachi gets thrown into a volcano instead?
well, if you follow the true story of it, he's come down, but the devil genes kept Kazuya alive, which is why he's got that massive fat scar.
Yeah.
And then obviously it's been passed on to his son, Jin.
Jin, yeah. Who also wants to kill his
and
trend.
Wants to kill everyone, and become the most powerful fighter in the world and all that sort of thing, Just goes from there, and they tangle the characters together in weird and wonderful ways. But
and then
the grandfather arrived. If you remember, I think that was
Jinpachi.
Tekken 5, Jinpachi,
yeah.
And
then you had Devil Jinpachi.
Went to some weird thing with the weird, what's the name? Big crystal guy. I think that was Tekken 6, maybe, or Tekken 5.
I do remember it, and I cannot remember the name. But anyway, yeah.
And Tekken 7's back to its old roots again, which is fun.
I haven't played Tekken 7.
I love it. Still got it re-downloaded it on my PS5 as well. Still play it with some of the boys every now and then.
Interesting.
Day one purchase if it comes out.
I can't promise that I'd purchase it day one. I can't even promise that I'll purchase Tekken 7 now. I just think it's one of those things that I really need the urge to play it to even buy it, and I just haven't had that urge for such a long time. I'll skip down a little bit on this list now. Crytek Crisis 4, that's been confirmed, so that's another thing on the list that's been ticked off. Did any of us play Crisis? Did we set our PC on fire to try and run it when we were kids? Oh, I did.
I mean, just to jump in again, Crisis is just a benchmark tool, isn't it? Isn't that what everyone uses it for?
Yeah, it is. Yeah. Even Crisis 1 now is a pretty good benchmark tool. I attempted to play this game as a child, and I fried my very, very ancient graphics card. And I had to get a new PC, and I never played Crisis again.
I don't even think I managed to start it up. I think my PC struggled to play Echo the Dolphin. So,
Put the floppy disk in the right way around.
Floppy disks. Oh my god.
What's a floppy disk, Carl?
Sega Bayonetta 3. Do we think Bayonetta 3 is still going to be a Nintendo console exclusive, or is it finally going to break free? Because Bayonetta 1 was on PS3, and I love Bayonetta 1. And then they announced Bayonetta 2. I was like, oh, yeah, great. And it was on the DS. I'm like, what the fuck? What do you do?
It's one of those games that's just determined to be in this sort of weird, voidy limbo, same as like Soul Calibur.
Yeah, well, I think the problem with Bayonetta is it's made by Platinum, and Platinum are just horde. I love Platinum games. Nier Automata, the new remaster of Nier that I know Parky really enjoyed, and I still haven't played, but I really want to.
Play it.
Astral Chain, Platinum. Vanquish. Did anyone play Vanquish on the PS3? That was a really good Platinum game. Like fucking ice skating around with massive cannons. I say ice skating. It was like booster jets on your feet and shit. It was such a cool action game. Platinum makes such weird shit, and it's great. Bayonetta being one of the weirdest. And I suppose the story of Nier is also very, very weird.
Umbra Witch or whatever she was.
But as soon as someone like waves a bit of cash at Platinum, they're like, "Oh yeah, we'll do this for you." Just like Scalebound, which is suddenly resurfaced again with Microsoft. They were making Scalebound exclusive for Xbox, and then there were problems on both sides, it seems, and then the game was cancelled, and now they're trying to revive it, but they want to revive it as an exclusive, even though I'm pretty sure Platinum owned the rights to Scalebound, so they've got no obligation to make it a Microsoft exclusive. I don't think. I think I've got that the right way around. But clearly they just need the cash for it, so I'm starting to wonder whether Platinum's in trouble again. it was quite well documented that Nier Automata saved Platinum as a studio because it did so well, but they haven't really done anything that successful since.
I always find Platinum games, they always just seem to be good games.
Yes, but I haven't played every
Right.
Platinum game. It just so happens I've played good Platinum games.
True.
Yeah. I don't know. In a recent interview, I can't remember his name. Effectively the CEO of Platinum said that they are open to acquisitions as long as they can keep their creative freedom. So if you're publicly begging for, one, the revival of an IP that got cancelled previously, and two, saying that you're open to acquisitions, that just says to me that Platinum are probably in trouble. But I don't know. I'm not a businessman, and I'm definitely not a shareholder. We'll move on. Atlas, Catherine Full Body. Catherine was an awesome game. I don't really care for a re-release of it.
No, never heard of any of them.
Catherine was like a weird puzzle game with
the sheep, all that
sheep
was.
in it.
Yeah.
Fun.
It was good, and the story was awesome. It was effectively an entire video game about cheating on your girlfriend.
Fun. Great.
And it had sheep in it.
Yeah.
I can't say I really care for that at all.
Yeah.
It was great at the time. No more.
It was very niche, wasn't it?
Yeah. Shin Megami Tensei 5, that's come out on the Switch now. But I think this is referring to a console release. I think the rumours are that it will be coming to PS4 and Xbox One. No current gen versions, but if Shin Megami Tensei 5 comes to PlayStation, I will be buying that day one. I think I told you both a while back when I was playing it. Shin Megami Tensei 3, Lucifer's Call, or as it's now known as the remaster, because it was named as it was the American name, Nocturne. No, hang on, other way around. No, it is Nocturne. Holy shit, I'm so confused. The American version is called Nocturne.
Okay.
The remaster,
I'm gonna need to
worldwide.
play the weak alarm in a minute.
Yeah,
you are going on a very Japanese
I'm falling down a hole here. I'm falling down a hole. But I will finish. The worldwide remaster was named Nocturne, so the name Lucifer's Call was completely dropped. And Shin Megami Tensei 3 was awesome. It's effectively Pokemon, but with religious figures as the Pokemon, and it's also got Dante from Devil May Cry in it. So what's not to love? Shin Megami Tensei 5 looks awesome. It doesn't have Dante in it, but it's still got the Ganesh that you can recruit and kill people with. Yes. Persona 5. Why I don't know why this says it doesn't exist. Persona 5 clearly exists. Maybe that means the PC port. Warner Brothers. I don't care about Arkham Knight anymore.
Yeah, Batman games have been too rehashed that they're all kind of just fading into the same at the moment.
Yeah, and you can get Arkham Knight free on the PS Plus collection anyway, so...
Yeah, I'm still looking forward to Arkham Knights. Not gonna lie. Yeah.
Half-Life 2 remaster.
Yeah, it's just an unofficial mod.
Mm,
Valve essentially gave the go-ahead for the people that were making an unofficial remaster mod to just carry on with it. So
yeah,
that's all it is.
And it seems this is not what everyone wants. Everyone wants Half-Life 3.
Yeah, but Valve don't count to 3. They count to 2, and then
Half-Life 3
1.2, 1.3,
and... and then just replace the number with a name, Alex.
Yeah, that's the one.
And that's about... I don't think we need to talk about the rest of the list because it's all just a load of random crap.
Yeah, and it's all with a grain of salt anyway. It might happen, it might not.
Yeah, so... But we've spoken about the main ones, and especially Final Fantasy IX Remake, that I really want. Great. The last thing on the list that we need to talk about, and I'm looking at the countdown right now. Capcom Countdown is currently at 3 days and 7 hours. What is this? There's been nothing else. All we've got is a link. And what is the link? The link, if anyone wants to go to it, is www.capcom-games.com/countdown. And it will take you to quite literally countdown.
Countdown. Yeah.
What could this be? Do we know? You've listed some potential Capcom games on the NVIDIA list, such as Dragon's Dogma 2. I don't know. I have no idea what this could be. Resident Evil 4 remake. It could be anything. Have you two?
Probably
either
just
of
a
you got any
countdown
ideas?
to Street Fighter game.
Really hope not. That would be such an anticlimax.
Or a new tournament or something they might release. Or
See,
be anything.
I don't know. They've never, to my knowledge, I don't think Capcom have ever done like a countdown before like this.
It's going to be a reboot of Capcom versus Sonic. Game from 2011.
Holy shit! What if this is like a new Marvel versus Capcom game? I know Sonic's not Marvel, but you just reminded me of Marvel versus Capcom.
Yeah.
Oh, that would be quite good. Now that's a fighting game I can get behind.
I mean, I think it might be. I don't know. I want to say Mega Man. I'm just going to say it's got something to do with Mega Man, maybe. I don't know.
Mega Man. What would they do though?
He's due a reboot at some point. So.
Is he though?
Yeah, you know.
What do you reckon, Parky? Any ideas other than Street Fighter?
It's one of those that we can throw out millions of ideas and we'll probably still be wrong. But, Capcom are one of those that are just like they could be anything and everything.
Yep, that's true.
But I am hoping, like you said, the Marvel vs. Capcom. I hope they bring something like that back. That would be really good.
That'd be cool. That would be cool. Maybe they
or
could.
Anything Capcom versus the world, and just have a big mash of all the old Capcom versus games.
Like a Smash Bros-esque Capcom fighter. Ooh, that would be
them
good.
Announcing that they've officially purchased the rights to Sony.
Well, they've certainly got the money on tap now because they've recently had a new investor. I don't know if either of you seen about this. The Saudi royal family have invested in Capcom. They own 5% of the company now.
Nice.
So we now have a effectively dynasty-style royal family that feels it appropriate to behead people simply because they're gay and dress women up in black cloaks in the boiling hot sun.
Yeah, but we don't want to go into that on this channel.
Yeah, the views of our members are explicitly not representative of us as a group of people. Full disclaimer.
People can do whatever they like.
Within the law.
When people are forced to do something, that's a different matter. That's all I'll say, because I don't want to hit on me from the royal family. Dogma 2. Really want Dragon's Dogma 2. We are long overdue Dragon's Dogma 2. We were cheated out of Dragon's Dogma 2 by a Dragon's Dogma 1 remaster for the PS4.
I'm just looking at the Capcom games and thinking, is it going to be something to do with Resident Evil? Is it going to be something to do with Monster Hunter? Or is it going to be a fighting game of them mashing up all their games together and saying, look, here's our own Capcom fighting
game? I don't know. I don't know. Like Parky said, we can throw hundreds, thousands of ideas.
Resident Evil, let's be honest, has... The new ones are fun, but, there's so many of them.
I suppose the only thing that's A, on the list, the NVIDIA list, and B, we've had some form of news about is the Resident Evil 4 remake. So that could be it. They didn't do a countdown for any of the other remakes.
That's what I'm thinking. It might be something completely new.
Yeah. Oh, a new IP from Capcom.
A reboot of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Apparently loads of people are going crazy over that. I think it's an anime now, maybe.
It's always been an anime for a very, very long time.
No, I think it's
JoJo's Bizarre Adventure is an excellent anime. It's batshit crazy.
As confusing as it is, yeah.
Yeah, it's absolutely crazy, but it's so good. Stop being a weeb. Stop.
Who knows?
Weave
We'll
alarm.
find out.
Wow.
We'll find out in however long's left on that countdown, because I don't want to
3
date this
days and 7
episode.
hours.
We ain't
Too
dating
late.
this episode.
I already dated the episode at the beginning
Ah.
when I said 2 days ago was the 15th.
Oh, nice.
But the 15th of what?
You never know.
And we also said that Horizon was coming out tomorrow.
Yeah, true.
Right, okay, we'll move on. We'll start wrapping this up because we've been babbling on for a while now. Any final comments, Kyle? Anything to say? Anything you want to get off your chest?
No, buy Horizon Forbidden West for the PS4. Get your free upgrade. Save £10. And don't buy the
Consumer
Steelbook.
advice. God's sake, don't buy the Steelbook. Parky, anything you want to say?
Yeah, I'm just looking forward to seeing how Cyberpunk's going to hold up now. With the new thing. It's going to be good.
You're going to play that before Horizon then, since you're going to wait for
Yeah,
Horizon?
most likely. That's another 200 hours I'll probably sink into it.
Good God, I don't know how you do.
Nor do I.
I am immediately dropping Cyberpunk as soon as midnight hits. I mean, I'm not. I'm going to the shop to buy the disc, so it's pointless dropping it at midnight. I'm going to stay up all night playing Cyberpunk, and then I'm not going to go to bed, and then I'm going to go to the shop, and I'm going to buy Horizon, and then I'm going to drop Cyberpunk. I have no closing comments. As always, I'm just looking forward to having the day off work tomorrow, because I'm very tired. And as much as I enjoy my job, it's nice to be at home. And it's also nice to play in a new game.
It is. Undisturbed for a full day.
Undisturbed,
Whilst getting
yes.
paid for it.
Yes, even better. The only thing better than having a holiday was catching COVID and being off all week working from home.
Woo-woo.
Woo-woo! That is not advice to catch COVID. Don't catch COVID. I was fine, but you might not be.
Yeah. Stay safe.
Stay safe.
Stay safe.
Stay safe. Stay sexy.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. That'll do for tonight then. Any last words?
Last words? Last
I'm
rites?
sorry, Kyle. What did I do? All right. We'll wrap it up there then. Thank you very much, gents. It's been a enlightening discussion. Very enjoyable.
Pleasure as always.
Pleasure as always. I'll see you next week at some point when all of us are available at the same time. This
I
almost didn't
reckon
happen
Wednesday
tonight.
might be back, right? Back on Wednesday, boys.
Fabulous.
Great
So we'll
potential.
actually be on schedule. Okay. Well, we're not going to promise anything.
Yeah.
Right. I will speak to you both soon.
Yeah. See you later.
See ya.
Bye.